with us. But despite all that, we're ready. We found incredible partners including Google, Samsung, and Qualcomm, and we're building our product ecosystem on the Qualcomm Snapdragon platform and working hand in hand with their engineers to deliver a better experience to our users. Once again, I want to thank all our partners for their faith and support in us despite the pressure. And we got capital. When I first started raising money for nothing, my slides were so bad, a friend told me we'd raise money easier if I didn't present the deck. So despite that, and despite having only made a pair of earphones, we raised over $140 million to date. This is the rocket fuel to power what happens next. We couldn't have done this without the support of true believers in nothing. So I want to say thank you to Josh Buckley at Hyper for writing the first ever check without needing to see any material. And thank you to Tony Fadell at Future Shape for challenging us to really think about our target audience. To David and Tom at GV for leading a smooth Series A during a very stressful period. To Future Capital and Galrong for your conviction and for being our biggest Series A extension checks. To Ted and Ben, our recent Series B co-leads at EQT Ventures and C Ventures, for your unfailing belief. And to our community. We knew from day one that if we were to have a chance of building a generational company, that it had to be done with our community. That's why we wanted them to be shareholders as early as possible. We opened up for community investing in March 2020 and raised $1.5 million within a minute. That speed was mind-blowing, and we broke records. People invested with their own money and a whole lot of blind faith. And because we were afraid of our product roadmap leaking, all we showed them were a few slides with Pokemon product codenames, nothing else. So if you're watching this, thank you. We're building your company. We launched our first product half a year ago, the Nothing Ear 1. The market needed something new amongst the sea of sameness, something different to the industry's gold standard, Apple. Instead of cold and white, we made the Ear 1 human, fresh, timeless. We've now sold nearly 500,000 units in half a year. And for context, the first iPod sold 400,000 in its first year. Ear 1 already sells in 40 countries. We're in iconic design and fashion retailers like Selfridges, StockX, and Kith. And critics love the Ear 1 too. It had incredible reviews from journalists at Forbes, GQ, Wired, Hypebeast, and more. We're humbled by the reception to Ear 1. It really beat our expectations. But that was all last year. That was a warm-up, getting us ready for this. We are not an audio company. So many people have given me feedback about developing an audio company. I've had to hold myself back from revealing that that's not what we are. But now, I don't have to hold back any longer. From the very beginning, the Nothing vision has been a world without barriers between people and technology. But what does that really mean? It means this. We're building the most compelling alternative to Apple. If you want products that connect and work seamlessly together, the only choice is Apple. The MacBook, the iPhone, the iPad, AirPods, they all work together the way you want. Yet as soon as you leave that ecosystem for a Windows PC or an Android phone, it breaks down. There's no alternative to Apple. This means that consumers don't have a choice, and innovation slows down. And that's not right. That's why there's Nothing. Nothing's product ecosystem will be different and open. Our ecosystem will consist of both Nothing products and products from other world-leading brands, created to effortlessly integrate with each other. This is the start of an open and diverse product ecosystem that gives people real choice. A choice to use your favorite brands instead of being forced into a closed range of products. So, you've heard about our real vision and our ecosystem plans. But there's something we haven't shown you yet. What's going to power it? And naturally, the internet has been guessing. Now, I can finally reveal what it is. This product is one that we spend most of our time with, our main gateway to the web, and to making connections with others. We're incredibly excited to announce that, surprise, surprise, we will be launching a smartphone, the Nothing Phone 1. It's going to be the beating heart of our product ecosystem. Remember that first iPhone launch? Overnight, we moved from physical buttons to capacitive multi-touch screens. That was a huge leap in innovation. And then came the App Store, which completely redefined our relationship to smartphones. But where's innovation now? Every year we get a bigger screen, and the camera positions shift. But that's about it. We get iterations, not innovations. Innovative Snapdragon platform to fuel Phone 1's powerful and energy-efficient experience with fast connectivity speeds. And design-wise, it's unlike anything you've seen before. Let me show you. You might not get it just yet, but trust me, it's stunning. But it won't just be the unique hardware that makes the Phone 1 stand out. Now, let's move on to something I know a lot of you will want to hear more about: the operating system, Nothing OS. It's the best of Android, combined with our iconic design language, the hub for your digital life. We started by keeping what you love about stock Android and removed the bloatware. Why duplicate the great apps that Google has already made? Nothing OS will also be fast and smooth. It delivers the optimal processing power and RAM for the exact app you're using while learning from your usage. By caching in the RAM, the apps you use the most will launch faster, and the apps you're not using but take up resources in the background will be closed. In simple terms, that means your apps will load and close super fast. But what's speed without a smooth experience? We've unified the graphics between different screens so every interaction feels seamless. There's a high level of design consistency throughout the system, and we used stripped-back, minimal animations so you're not distracted by things jumping all over the place. Here's an example. The clock and top widgets are kept in the same place across the AOD, lock screen, and home screen, so it feels continuous. The thickness and contrast of the font gently changes as you transition from one screen to another, and the result? A smooth and uniform experience that's uniquely Nothing. And updates. Phone 1 will come with 3 years of OS updates and 4 years of security updates. Next, let's talk about design. Our software was designed together with our hardware and our brand, and not separately like with other companies, so everything feels totally unified. We gave our OS bespoke fonts, colors, and graphical elements that all speak our unique visual language. One example here is the weather widget that uses the same dot matrix font as our logo. And look at those animations. When thinking about design, we like to balance what we call raw technology with human warmth. I think our voice recorder is a great example of that. We gave it a playful twist, so not only does it look cool, it also has an interactive analog tape reel that can be used to adjust playback speed. Sound is also an important part of design that often gets neglected. Here, we wanted to find the right balance between raw, technical sounds and more familiar sounds we might have heard before. We took inspiration from Morse codes, oscillators, and digital watches. It's still in development, but have a listen. Hey! Finally, Nothing OS is the foundation of our open ecosystem. Connecting to your other devices, including devices from other brands, will be effortless. You can quickly access Ear 1 settings and features through Quick Settings or the home screen widget. And we're also building support for your favorite non-Nothing products, like AirPods and Teslas. So if you like what you've seen, we'll be releasing the Nothing OS launcher in April, which will be available to download and install for select smartphone models. Stay tuned to our social channels for updates. Phone 1 is going to be a breath of fresh air to the sleepy smartphone market. Its design and user interface will really be something else. And we're building Nothing OS as a product that we'd be proud to share with friends and family. The whole team is super excited for you to experience it later this summer. The Nothing community is everything. We're a community-guided company on a community-guided journey. I believe that in the future, the distinction between companies and their users will disappear. And that's what we're building towards. We want everyone to play a part in Nothing and our financial journey and share in any potential success. Not in a couple of years or if we go public, but from the beginning. That's why we're thrilled to be opening up the ability for you to also invest in nothing. Our first community investment round closed in less than a minute. Last time, we only had $1.5 million available. This time, we have $10 million available to make sure that more of you will get a chance. But please keep in mind that as with any investment, there's a risk to your capital. So only invest what you can afford. To learn more and register your interest, visit nothing.tech. You heard a lot about Nothing today. What we're actually up to, the Nothing vision, our ecosystem, and Phone One. I hope you're excited about what's to come, and we can't wait to build it together with you. So let's go. I think at Nothing, we have a great opportunity to build this once-in-a-generation company. A company and their community, there's not going to be a distinction in the future. There's wisdom in the crowd.
Hello guys, it's another beautiful day in London, as you can see. Grizzly. It's actually raining right now. Today I want to talk to you about the Community Board Observer. We're going to be sitting down with a few people and chatting to them about what that means. But before we jump into that, I wanted to shout you guys out. We've been getting a lot of feedback, both, positive, but then also in the areas where we could be doing things better. And it's always constructive. Honestly, you guys are very positive and it's good vibes all round. Obviously on TikTok, there's a few oddballs there, but that's to be expected. And over the last few months, we've been having our beta testers work with our products and give us feedback on how we can do things better. And yeah, we just wanted to shout you guys out and say thank you. But back to the topic at hand, we're here to find out about the Community Board Observer. So let's go sit down with a few people. Goodness gracious. Let's go sit down with a few people and find out what that means. Let's go.
Can I grab you for like 30 minutes? Chat back a minute?
Yeah.
Do you think I can steal you just quickly?
Yeah, sure.
He didn't work here, bro. He just strolled in.
Bruh.
Okay. Ladies and gents, I have a surprise for you. It's Carl Pay in the flesh on Nothing Updates. Let's go. Carl, how you doing, man?
I'm good.
Hey, Rudy, thanks for taking the time, man. Could you give me a bit of insight? What's your role here, man?
Community manager.
Nice. What does that mean?
My role is basically the position between our biggest fans, our biggest contributors, and Nothing as a company. So I'm just like a very cool messenger.
So Carl, in terms of like community, why is it important for us?
The world is moving towards a place where a company and their community, there's not going to be a distinction in the future. So we're taking a kind of step-by-step approach there.
So Rudy, what does it mean to be part of that community?
A lot of cool stuff. So like, you get to see products before they get released. You help the team, with the app and software-wise. You get exclusive merch, you get to talk to me and the rest of the team almost every day.
I've heard behind the scenes, we're working on something called a Community Board Observer. So that means like we have an individual who is kind of like representative of the community that kind of comes in and works with the board. And just for a bit of context for the board is senior members of staff and investors that kind of help guide the company in terms of like high level decisions, what products we're making, where we're expanding and things like that. Is that correct?
More or less, like the board consists of, from Nothing side, me and Paul. Paul is our chief product officer, and then some of our investor representatives. The Community Board Observer will be the first voice of the consumer. And we'll have a board meeting every quarter or so where we look at how our company is performing and our future strategy. We have a double click and deep dive discussion on that.
Say, for example, we had a product and their feedback is the community isn't feeling this stuff. How do you guys navigate then that kind of positioning there?
Well, I think it depends on the situation, but if it's still early days, then we should really double click and see what is it that they don't like. Oftentimes when you're talking about board, you're talking about things at a kind of longer term time horizon. It's more likely that they actually have a chance to influence because we have that time buffer.
Is this a common practice in business? How does this work? Or is this a modern thing in terms of like having
external input?
I've never heard about it before, but I just feel like we're moving towards a place where the company and the communities they have, they're on a collision course to be one and the same. So I think we're also trying to figure out our moves to get there. And I think, why not? There's a lot of smart people out there. Why only leverage the brains of people working at a company? Why not have more people contribute? And there's wisdom in the crowd. I think at Nothing, we have a really great opportunity in front of us to build this once-in-a-generation company. All the stars are currently aligned, and our first year has been pretty successful. It's gone better than we initially expected. I also believe in the wisdom of the crowd. So we have this opportunity in front of us. There's a ton of smart people out there who are passionate about what we're doing. Why can't we build this company, together with our community and be a community-first company? There's a risk when you're building a company and every day you're like solving all these problems in front of you, and you don't get sometimes you get kind of tunnel vision. You don't see the full picture. I think it's good to have the consumer there reminding you, hey, look, this is not what you said you were gonna do when you just founded. Like, what are you doing? So just have that safety measure in place.
Rudy, how does someone become a community board observer?
You need to have invested in Nothing. So if you're an investor, that's the main basic thing. You need to have an active face in the community. So you need to be someone who engages with people quite frequently. And you need to know a lot about the company and be very well committed to the juices that we've spoken about.
When you say investor, is that a lot of money or
No, a crowdfunding kind of investor. So from as little as $100 to,
Means look, if you peace. Like the jacket, man, where's it from?
It's Arcturix.
Is it uber waterproof?
I think so.
Have you seen all these memes online? Oh, no, he's making it drip.